Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and for this reading, I feel called to do a simple, what is it that you need to hear right now reading. So we're going to go ahead and just get right into it. Choose group number 1 with the Gerbera daisy, group number 2 with the mum, or group number 3 with the wilting rose. And I will see you in your reading. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. For tonight's reading, I am doing a simple, what is it that you need to hear right now reading. You chose the yellow Gerbera daisy or the African daisy. And I pre-pulled a few oracle cards to give us an overview of what this reading might be about, and then we will get into the tarot. So your first oracle card is number 36 with Say No, and we have an image of a woman facing one direction and a man behind her with a bouquet of roses. So this is interesting because there could be two interpretations that I'm getting from this imagery, and one is say no to what's being offered to you. Like, say no to this person, say no to their advances, say no to this thing that is obvious to you. The other interpretation of this is say no to what really doesn't align, because maybe just around the corner or just behind you and you can't even see it is this thing that is aligned. This man is something that is aligned and you just can't see it because your back is facing away from it. So maybe there's something you're walking towards that you need to reevaluate. And maybe there's a shift that needs to happen internally where you put a boundary in place. That's the main thing, like putting a boundary in place and disconnecting from something that's not serving you. But we'll dig a little deeper and see what else comes through. Your next oracle card is Dabble. What would help me feel safe in opening up? So the mallard with Dabble. Your final oracle is Almost There with number 44. There's this feeling of someone wanting to settle for something and not realizing that whatever it is that's meant for them is literally just around the corner if they just surrender to their true desires and don't give up on them, don't leave them behind. There is this feeling of having an opportunity presented to you and you needing to say no to it and follow a channel or a path that may feel more difficult or may feel more in need of you to activate a strength of will and faith. It could even feel like a leap of faith. It could be a step you need to take that's somewhat scary, but is going to pay off. There is this feeling of trust involved. And there's a feeling of breaking a pattern here. We're coming up to a point in our life where we can fall back into an old pattern, or we can decide that we're going to break it. And there seems to be this barrier in front of us that before we always heeded, and now it's time to open the gate. Now it's time to, or break down the gate or whatever it is. But it really just almost feels like it's an opening of a gate. It's not necessarily like something that you need to tear down or something that's been this huge block this entire time. You've had the key to break this pattern this entire time. And all you have to do is pick up the key or pull the key out of your pocket, wherever it may be, and unlock the gate and open it up and exit out of this patterning. So this could relate to so many, I can't even imagine how many situations this could relate to, but this is something that could be ancestral patterning or just your own personal patterning, like a pattern that has followed you through your life. It could be in your love life. It could be when it comes to money or finances, the way you spend your money. It could be with settling for less than what you deserve in any area of your life. It could be surrendering to someone else's will when it doesn't align with who you are. It could be so many different things. To get some insight on that, let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. So I just got these tarot cards. They are called the Flower Child Tarot, and they have to be my favorite tarot cards. Are they my favorite tarot cards? Let me think back. They're pretty close to my favorite tarot cards. I love them. They're very retro. I really wanted to get the, it's called the Trip and Wait Tarot, and it was really hippy dippy 70s vibe. And I saw these ones and these just scratched that itch. So now I don't feel the desire to get those Trip and Wait ones. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. What is going on with this patterning that group number 1 is about to break, and how can they break it? What do they need to hear to break this patterning? All right, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. All right, so it could have to do with money and long-term stability and safety. I mean, the word safe is in this dabble card. And I was also kind of feeling with this imagery of the man offering the flowers, there could be some of you walking towards financial freedom, and the man offering the flowers is kind of old ways of dealing with your finances. Or it could be even some people who are reliant on another person when it comes to their finances, and this is someone walking away from that person to live in financial sovereignty and to do things on their own and to rely on themselves, or just not necessarily a person, but an old way of existing within money. So again, apply this underlying meaning to whatever theme in your life it works for. Your next card is the High Priestess. Okay, you've also got the Magician, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so we're definitely walking away from something. That card, the Say No card, and the Eight of Cups are both really giving me walking away vibes. There could be some inner confliction happening as well, because just given the layout of the cards right now, the woman in this card is walking to the left and the woman in this card is walking to the right. And so you could be at a crossroads right now where you're deciding which direction you do want to walk. So there could be some inner kind of battling or struggle there where you're learning to figure out what the next steps might be. We've got the High Priestess card here, and that is a card of connecting to your intuition, connecting to your inner knowing. The High Priestess is someone who is connected to divine wisdom. She acts in a feminine way. Like when she acts in the world, it's more of an action based off of slow internal nudge, and it's not so much forced or controlled as it is step by step, in the moment, following my intuition and inner guidance, in complete trust and surrender to a higher power. There is this feeling of meditation. There is this feeling of clearing your mind. There is a message here that you can create any reality you choose. With the Magician, you have everything that you need to create any reality you choose. And with the High Priestess, it really feels like you're being called to figure out what it is that you truly even want, to clear away all external stimuli, other voices, walk away from even old feelings and desires of your own. So you might have outgrown some of your old desires. And it might be time to reconnect to your heart and your soul, and even not even reconnect, just connect to. There might be new understandings of yourself and what your soul really wants, or what your being just really wants in this world. And it might be, some of it might be completely different from your past self and what you wanted to create before. So this is a feeling of, before you move forward and take action towards what it is you're creating or what path it is you're walking, there is this realignment that wants to happen inside of you first. So whatever it is that you're confused about, or you're conflicted about, or you are venturing to create in this world, there is this feeling of completely severing away from all noise and reconnecting to your center, and even like journaling it out or voice memoing it out, what it is that your soul really wants. And these messages that come through about what it is you really want are not going to be, like, for instance, it's not going to be, I want to buy a new car, or I want to, and it might reflect itself in that, but the actual soul desires are going to speak more in like these whispers of how it wants to feel in the world, how connected it wants to feel. It's going to be more these still small voices that, or this still small voice that says things like, I desire to feel seen. I desire to spread love. I desire to be of benefit and service to the world in some way. I desire to have fun. I desire to feel in love with and connected to the people around me. I desire to feel known and seen by the people around me. It's more like that. It's going to be quieter voices. And when we're more connected to that voice, it's so much easier to know what the next steps are in the physical world and what we're creating in the physical world, because they're simply going to align with those soul desires. So that is your message. You are being called to connect to your soul's voice. Let's see. So that is your first message anyway. We still have a few cards to read. So the Three of Pentacles in this reading, in this deck, we have three people, it looks like, working together to create a stained glass window here, which two of the people have scissors and pliers in their hands. And I can't imagine those tools being needed to make a stained glass window. Maybe the pliers, I don't know, but it feels like there's just too many hands almost. It's like when there are too many messages and input in the creation of what you're building in this world, too many external voices, like it just kind of gets muddied, and what you create it's not as potent and powerful and pure. That's not what I expected to get out of the Three of Pentacles. Typically, the Three of Pentacles is very positive. It's almost giving Three of Pentacles reversed. I don't typically pull reversals, but I mean, just the imagery alone helped me with that. But yeah, again, these external voices are not helping you. Even if they present as helping you, there's something there. There's some energies that just aren't supporting your choices right now. And I think we need to break away. We need to go spend some time in nature. We need to really get like reconnected to ourselves. Knight of Wands is about confidence though. Knight of Wands is about charging forward after what you want. So there's no lack of inspiration. There's no lack of excitement for where you're going, what you're doing, what you're creating. It's just this feeling of that energy might be getting burned out because your energy is just focused on too many things at once, or too many options at once, that you end up not really getting anywhere. So one way or another, with the Ten of Pentacles, this is about, okay, with the Ten of Pentacles, there's a message here that when you connect to your soul's true nature, and also I'm kind of getting this feeling of the voice of society and expectations of society might have crept in a little too much. Because with the Ten of Pentacles, that's about your long-term security, what is going to make you feel more connected to your soul purpose over the course of your life, what is going to make you feel most fulfilled in your own being when it comes to like the long term, the long game of your life. And your soul's going to help you with that. If there's a rushy energy here, or if there's this feeling of like societal pressure to get something done or to be in a place that you're not in quite yet, that is only slowing you down, because you're not here to just align with what society expects and just be a part of the matrix and staying asleep within it. And, you're not here to just perpetuate what is, you're here to create something new. So your story and your vision and your life is not going to look like what society would expect of you. There's just this release feeling going on right now, and I feel like it's like a load off once you realize and kind of awaken to the reality that you've been letting societal expectation or other voices slow you down and what you truly want. I kind of see you like clapping back in a way and just being like, no, I am not doing this anymore. None of you know what's best for me. You barely know what's best for yourself. And I'm going to do what feels aligned in my being. And I'm going to step forward confidently in that. And I'm going to create a life that I'm proud of and that I feel good in, and that helps me feel like I'm making a positive difference in the world, helps me feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, it's a very heart-centered feeling. It's this feeling of your heart, like you finally making a decision for your soul against everybody else's or society's voices, and you feeling so relieved, free, content, light, happy. Like my heart right now just feels so, like, I guess the word relieved is really strong. There's a truthfulness that settles nicely in the gut and in the heart. It's something that once you finally make the move forward towards it, calms your entire body, because all of you is finally on board. So again, the overall message, reconnect to your soul. There are meditations online, I'm sure, that you could do, guided meditations to help reconnect to your voice, your true soul. Time in nature, time alone, journaling, reading books about self-connection, whatever you feel called to do. But inner knowing, connecting to your own inner knowing is the key, and realizing that you get to create this crazy life, and it gets to be as beautiful and as aligned as you desire it to be. And it's your choice. It's always been your choice, no one else's. So almost there with the fox, with 44. There's this feeling. First of all, I do want to mention there is a very heavy emphasis on material reality, material resources here. So, and with 44, that's adds up to 8, which is abundance. It's a meaning for abundance. We've got 1, 2, 3, 2 8s, 8, 9, 10. We've got 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, basically. So like 8, 9, 10 is the end of a journey, and 1, 2, 3 is the beginning of the journey. So I'm kind of just getting this feeling of being in between the ending and the beginning of a new phase. But okay, again, sorry, almost there is giving me this feeling of you're almost, it's like a feeling of being almost fully like on board with your truest path. It's kind of like this feeling of over the course, like you're slowly and surely walking towards your soul's calling, or what feels right in your soul, or what is best for you, despite external circumstances or external voices. And there's this feeling of, it's like you're almost like clicked into place on your path, where once you're clicked into that place where like your entire being, your nervous system, your body, your soul, your mind are all on board with the new journey and with what you know you're truly worthy of, then and only then will you be able to fully embody it and then be standing in the reality of it. Because it just feels like there's this internal kind of resistance that's been happening. And there's just a few shifts, like or even just one internal shift that needs to happen to fully align with the new path, if that makes sense. So it is more, it's internal. So it's kind of hard to put into words or give you concrete actions to take towards it, because it is an internal situation. It's one of those things where you have to follow your intuition and reconnect to your truest desires. So, and that's unique to every single person. Is there anything else here? Maybe the daisy has something else to say for you. Whew. Daisy, what else can I say to group number 1? What advice can I, like practical advice? Connect to your heart space. Your heart has so much wisdom and truth. And it's such a beautiful compass to follow. You can trust your heart. Follow love. Follow love. Follow what lights you up. Follow what makes you feel whole. What makes you feel safe in the deepest part of you. You've got this. Beautiful, unimaginable things await you, like unimaginable in a good way. It's a feeling of making this internal shift and then everything clicking into place and then you ending up in a new reality that you've created, and it all reflecting back to you in such a beautiful way. And because you followed your soul, and your soul is connected to this higher power that knows you better than you know yourself, because you followed your soul, what was reflected back to you is something that you could have never dreamed up yourself, but is strangely exactly perfect and aligned with who you are, and more reflective of who you are than anything that you could have created on your own without being connected to that higher source and inspiration and guidance, if that makes sense. So, all right, alrighty. I think this is your message, group number 1. I pray that it resonated, and I hope that you find the energy and the space to truly give yourself that time to listen to yourself. Like, take heed to what the voice of your soul really wants, and don't squash it down. You know, if there's anything that you really truly want that you've been kind of tampering down because you don't believe you can have it yet, or whatever the case may be, whatever your, ego's rationalizations may be about it, stop doing that. Don't tamp it down. Your truest desires are ready to emerge, and you being on board with them and connected to them and knowing that they're all completely 100% possible is what's needed of you right now. So yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to be supported by me in more ways, you can join my Patreon. You can check out my infinite prayer sessions. They are guided visualization and Reiki blessings. You can also, if you'd like to support my channel, I would love it if you'd like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. I also have a way that you could leave me a tip / buy me a coffee. You can check out my merchandise, which is really adorable. It has my Bee and Flowers logo with the phrase "Hello, lovely human" on it. And I also have another YouTube channel called Soul Harken. It is my heart and soul in video form if you'd like to check that out. There are links down below for everything. Thank you so much for being here. I really am honored by your presence, and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I am doing a simple, what is it that you need to hear right now reading today. You chose the mum, and we're going to put her right up here. We'll see if she has any messages for us later, but for now, she's just going to be a presence in the reading. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So for your oracle cards, your first one is number 7 with Reclaim Your Art. Your second oracle card is What Am I Listening For? Great Horned Owl with Here. And your third oracle card is number 14 with Service. Okay. I mean, the first thing I thought of was with 7 and 14 here. 14 is the double of 7. So I'm thinking of, and especially with Reclaim Your Art, I'm thinking of 2 different art forms, like someone who does 2 different art forms. So that could just be a confirmation for some of you. Intuitive art with the Great Horned Owl. You might be intuitives, artists, poetry's coming through, writing, even you could even envision, like, say you do tarot reading or you do some sort of spiritual healing. With the What Am I Listening For? It feels like channeling something from beyond. This is reminding me of the Moon card in tarot a little bit too. And there's also a feeling of your art being healing in general. So with Service here, and on the Service card, we have I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's the 2 snakes that are wrapped around. It's like the symbol for medicine. There's a feeling of whatever it is you do that is an art form, and that could be so many different things. It is a medicine to the world, and it is worth pursuing. So with Reclaim Your Art, if there are old art forms that you have not done in a while, you're being called to reopen a door. I wonder why. I wonder why you've been neglecting, and I don't want to, like, no judgment, but why is there a neglecting of art? I'm almost feeling like with this, what am I listening for? Maybe there's a deeper understanding as to why we're neglecting our art, or maybe why we put it on the back burner. There might be something going on under the surface that has made us close off that part of ourselves in a way. So I'm curious. We need to get into the tarot, because I'm not getting a lot right now with just the 3 oracle cards. There's a message from beyond. Like, there's something that you reopening your art, like your connection to your art. And so, like, say you start painting again. There's, like, you haven't painted in a while, and you decide, you know what, I'm just going to paint just for fun, no pressure. It feels like there is a message from beyond that's going to come through while you're participating in the art form. Or even it can be writing. You could start writing, even if it's just like, what do they call it? Stream of consciousness writing. And you start doing that for a while. And then all of a sudden, like, a message starts coming through, or an inspiration for something starts coming through. And it's enlivening and awakening, and it feels connected to your soul and your heart. And it's something that brings you back to, like, a part of you that's been dormant back to life. So you're being called back into your art. And if you'd never really called yourself an artist, this would be you being called back to something that used to bring you joy and inspiration, no matter what it is. And you've just kind of let it go and you've put it on the back burner, whatever that may be. So this woman in this card, she's picking up, she's like, it looks like she's cleaning her house, and she's decided to take down, it looks like a cello or something, or a guitar. She's taking that down and she's like, you know what? I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to get back into my music. So it could be music, an instrument, singing. There's so many things, but okay. So what else does group number 2 need to hear right now? So we've got the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, which is very much about like mastery of can be an art form. Mastery of a skill, a trade, an art. So that's very fitting. We've got the Page of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the King of Cups. So we've got, and on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. I'm going to stick this. Where do I want to put the Two of Cups? I want you to be able to see it. I'll put it up here. I mean, Holy Cups, you have 4 Cups cards and 2 Pentacles cards. And then your major arcana is the Chariot. So there's this feeling of getting real with yourself about what it is you truly want. There's a feeling of digging more deeply into your emotional world and looking for answers in that space, more deeply into your connection to others and how you want that to feel, connection to your inner child. And with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles being over here, and the overarching theme that we were talking about being your art, or what it is you do that brings you joy and pleasure, and reconnecting to that. There's almost this feeling of an imbalance between, like a feeling of not giving enough, putting enough weight behind or on or in, like putting enough emphasis and importance on what your heart really needs, what your soul really needs to feel light and joyful. It's almost like more of it, there's been more of an emphasis on security and on work and on that element, that side of life. And the balance, the weight wants to be pulled more in the direction of emotional fulfillment and taking actions, more actions, like putting that more of a priority in your life and not putting just the work, like putting that actually above the work, making that the priority, like your emotional health, your mental health, your like that connection to that part of you that is playful and light and loving and fun and feels connected to the world around them, feels connected to the people around them, has that access to their sense of connectedness. And with the Chariot can be about balance. And with this Chariot card, funnily enough, it's 2 cats, one's black, one's white. With the typical Chariot card, there is this feeling of both of the horses or the whatever is in front of the Chariot, pulling the Chariot, they need to be imbalanced and on board. And in this Chariot card, we've got this fairy woman, and it looks like she's like, the wind's blowing in her hair and she's ready to go. And these cats are just sitting. They're just lying down like all comfy and like they're not moving. And then even the wheels almost look like they're like fallen off the chariot. And she's like, okay, let's go, let's go. And they're like, no, it's not time to go yet. Like, we're cool here. It's time to relax and chill. Like, I'm not saying we'll never go, but you need to put those wheels back on, like they're falling off. And I mean, it's just like a feeling of, let's regroup. Let's do some self-care. Let's put that as the number one priority. Literally, just put it as the number one priority. And honestly, it should always be the number one priority in your life. Your mental health, your physical health, and your emotional health should always be number one over like finances or over work or like duties, obligations, whatever it may be. Like, yes, there may be times when we do need to work a little harder and we do kind of exhaust ourselves. But ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, your number one priority should always be your health, your spiritual health, your emotional balance, your mental health. Like, health in general should be always the number one priority. If you don't have your health, then you have literally nothing. So, and that includes just, that's a holistic health, you know? Being loyal to that as a priority in your life. Like just reconfiguring, recalibrating your priorities and realizing what really matters and shifting your energy to always allow yourself to live that way. Like, for instance, say you need to go home and get some work done. Like in this scenario, apparently you work from home. So you need to go home, and tonight I need to do some work. I need to make sure I get some extra work done tonight. But man, I really feel like I need to work out. I really feel like I need to cook a decent dinner. I need to eat healthy. And then you kind of like let yourself decide, well, I don't know, the work is the priority, so I'll grab a granola bar and just plow through the work. When really, if you would have just stopped and like taken an hour just to cook something really nourishing and healthy and then ate that and then went to your work, like you'd have all the energy you need. You wouldn't feel strung out. Like you'd even have leftover food for the next day. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's putting that healthy, like whatever it is for my mental or physical or spiritual health that I need to do, that is the priority, because once I've taken care of that, then I know I'll have the energy for all the other things. They won't be so draining anymore. So we're reprioritizing things, and we're shifting our consciousness around what is like how life is meant to be lived on a day-to-day basis. I mean, this is actually a huge shift if you think about it. It's like subtle but huge. It's almost like the King of Pentacles has had too much of a say for a while, and now the King of Cups really needs to have a little bit more of a say. Like, hey, I'm feeling really drugged down. I'm feeling really tired. I'm feeling uninspired. I'm feeling like disconnected from people around me or from my work or whatever it is. I really need to nourish my heart and my soul and my inner being. And there's just this permission slip to take care of your home life, your family, your relationships, your partnerships, like your personal world, to really put some time and energy into that. And again, your health. And it's just like, it's a permission slip to do just that, and to like let go of the heaviness and weight around work, and realizing and trusting yourself that these things will always be here for you, and that you will get what you need to get done. Like everything will get done in the perfect timing. And I'm kind of getting this feeling of someone who's been thinking about work all day, or they're off doing other things that they're supposed to be having fun doing, but they're just thinking like, I really should be doing work right now. Like, it's like a draining energy, like a weight, like a blanket that's on you at all times. And it's almost as if the work itself is not even that big of a deal. The work itself is nothing. Like, it's easy peasy when you're in it and you show up to it, you can show up and do it, and it's not a big deal. But when you have that pressure on yourself and you're focused on the work, when you're even away from it, like, oh, I want to make sure I do that right, I want to make sure I get to that and I do everything, and you're constantly thinking about it when you're doing other things that you should be in the moment with, it's just like, that's what's draining you. So yeah, permission slip to let go, to cut the cords on it and to detach from it for the most part in your life. And then when you do show up to it and you're ready to show up to it, you show up with a positive and powerful energy and you're excited to do it because you kind of miss it. You know, it's that kind of feeling. So we need to rebalance. Yeah, because life is more so about human connection than anything. And nothing, like, life means nothing without the people you're sharing your life with, the connections in your life, what makes your heart feel happy and whole, what makes your inner child feel safe and connected, seen, honored, lit up. Like, without that, life means nothing. And it should be the priority. And this could be literal kids. Some of you may have literal kids and it's hard to like be present with them, you know? And if that's the case, it's like, yes, we're shifting our priorities. I'm going to start making it a priority because I know one day I'd regret it if I wasn't present with them more often. Or a partnership, like someone like that's your soulmate or your partner, your husband or wife. It's like this feeling of, I'm going to be more present. I'm going to listen to them more. I want to connect. I want to make an effort to connect to them more deeply. Like, there's like a deeper sense of intimacy with who you are, with the people around you, gratitude for the people around you, appreciation, love. There is just more of that wants to come through for you and wants to help you feel fulfilled on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis in your life. And you're being called to put more weight behind that, like give more priority to that, and just trust in what gifts are there for you when you do that. And once you start to see the gifts of the Spirit that come through the connections around you and that come from your own soul, once you've taken care of it, you'll never go back to your old ways where your priorities were more like work was number one kind of thing. Not to judge, and like oftentimes I feel like, I think it's just like a Western society kind of thing. Like, work becomes like this number one priority when really family should be. And maybe family is, but it's like, and you know family's number one priority, but it's just like a cultural consciousness. It's like almost like it's easy to get sucked into that mentality that work is the most important thing when it's not. So, yeah, I think that is your message. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to be supported by me in different ways, you can join my Patreon. You can check out my infinite prayer sessions, which are guided visualization and Reiki blessings that are connected to different readings here on YouTube. There's a link down below for that. If you'd like to leave me a tip / buy me a coffee, I'd be so ever appreciative of any amount, even $1. If you'd like to check out my merchandise, it is my bee and flowers logo with the phrase "Hello, lovely human" on it. Super adorable. At the moment, I am not offering personal readings, but maybe by the time you watch this reading, I could have open slots. So if you'd like to check out the link down below to see if I have anything open, you can. Otherwise, I have another YouTube channel. It is called Soul Harken. It is my heart and soul in video form if you'd like to check that out as well. Thank you so much for being here. I am honored by your presence, and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and for today's reading, I am simply asking the question, what is it that you need to hear right now? So you chose the wilting rose. Typically, I don't use wilting flowers, but tonight I was like, why not? It's still beautiful. And wilting, death, rebirth, transformation, it is all a part of life. Shedding of skin, releasing the old. So I kind of had a feeling that this reading might have something to do with that, but we will see. She is going to take a little rest up here in the corner and just be a presence for us during the reading, and we'll get right into it. So for the oracle cards that I pulled for you, you got number 34 with stop. This is wild. Group number 1 got, I think it was number 36, maybe, and who knows what number it was, but it had the word no, just say no. And this one says stop. Like collectively, there's this message to just stop. Like stop what you're doing. Like if you're trying to head forward, like in this in particular, we've got 5 penguins on this little ice chunk, and there's a shark, and there's just this feeling of stop, there's danger ahead. And not to scare you, this is not being scary at all. I think the universe is just, if there's something internally that you're resisting or that's feeling uncomfortable, okay, so there's like a difference between healthy discomfort where you're just expanding beyond your comfort zone in like a way where you're stretching yourself and growing. And then there's another discomfort that's more of like a gut, like instinctual, like, okay, shit, something feels off here. So I would say there's almost like a feeling of distinguishing between the two. So this could interpret in that gut feeling or that expansion feeling. And ooh, I'm almost getting a feeling of, in some circumstances, it could be like an expansion that is a good thing, but it feels uncomfortable, so we like shy away from it. But we'll get into the reading. We'll see like what the actual interpretation is for the overall reading. Your next oracle card is Charm with Ladybug. What if everything is already working out? Okay. With the thing I thought of with charm was, and then stop, it was like this feeling of something could be charming you, and something could be like an old pattern with a person, or even just an old pattern within your own being that you're meant to expand and grow out of. There's this feeling of something could be charming you back in, like a temptation kind of thing. Let's keep going. Then we've got small steps, big accomplishments. And we have the sea turtle, number 8. 8 has been a very prominent number in all 3 of these readings. It represents abundance and expansion. So that's really lovely to see. So small steps, big accomplishments. We've got a land turtle and a sea turtle. Well, I'm pulling tarot right away because I want to. And I'm not getting a whole lot of punch from those cards alone. So I want to see, I need context. What if everything is already working out? It's kind of making me think of like, okay, with what if everything is already working out? It's making me think of like someone trying to like force something to happen, and when they don't need to, when like everything's on the trajectory it's meant to go in, everything's lining up exactly how it's meant to line up for your greatest good, and for even for your manifestations to work out the way you intend them to work out. And it's almost like this scrambling forward to force something to happen, and that might be like what the stop is about. It's like, just stop. Everything is working out for your highest good. Like steps you've put into motion in the past, or energies that you haven't even had to put into motion because the universe is so on your side and so backing you. Like, it feels like you're just able to kind of just ride a wave really effortlessly and land exactly where you're wanting to land and where you're aiming to land. And like, kind of like, yeah, with the penguins on the ice, it's like, if they, like, maybe they think they want to get to the next ice chunk or whatever. What if they just hung out on that ice that they're on, they would avoid the danger in the water, like the shark, and the ocean and the current would just take them to where they need to go. They could just hang out and the ocean will, like, 2 seconds later, they're exactly where they need to be. Whereas if they would have jumped in the water, they'd be in danger. They'd have, like, the current might have, like, pulled them in another direction and they'd watch their chunk of ice just go exactly where they wanted to go. I don't know. Just, it's that kind of feeling. Like, quit scrambling, like, quit thinking you need to get everything done all at once, or think, like, there's like this overwhelmed feeling of like, I just want to scramble and make this happen. And there's this feeling of like, no, and like, small steps, big accomplishments. We're taking one little tiny step at a time, and it's intuitively based. Like, we're just nudging along, and it's almost like the universe doing most of the work for you. So that's cool. Like, chill out. That's the vibe. Like, damn, chill out. You're fine. Like, everything's working exactly the way it's meant to work. Like, take a breath, relax. You can't F it up. You really can't. All right. What does group number 3 need to hear right now? These barely, okay, here we go. 10 of Pentacles in the same position as group number 1. The Hanged Man. The Chariot in the same position as group number 2. The 8 of Pentacles. The 2 of Swords. The 3 of Wands. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is not surprising, literally right next to small steps, big accomplishments. That's the epitome of what the Knight of Pentacles is. Small steps, slow and steady progress. Take your time, relax, take a leisurely pace, take the scenic route. It's like, there's no rush. You are safe. You are fine. And with the 10 of Pentacles, you're building something that has staying power. You're walking towards something that is bringing you stability and security, a feeling of having your needs met and also being able to provide for others. And especially like in this 10 of Pentacles card, it's like this family is just leisurely hanging out in the yard. There's a cat, there's a little kid here with just like a diaper on, and like the mom's just chilling. Like, they look so like leisurely, like safe, secure. I can relax. I can just exist in this luxurious experience of beauty around me and nature around me, and I'm calm. I feel so held and supported by the earth, by God, by the universe, by my own creation. It's almost like what I've created and what I've walked towards and put work into really mattered so much to the world around me and to my own family and myself. And I've learned to work with the divine and the earth to create stability, structure, security, and to provide like provision for myself and my community and the greater like world at large. It's like whatever I've done, I am held in this space, and because I've gotten myself to this space, I've been capable and proud and happy to provide opportunities for others to get to this place as well. So that's the energy. We're creating something that is spreading into the world around us and bringing other people into those energies of security and safety. Or even maybe teaching other people how to create it for themselves. It's like, and it's this thing that spreads and grows and lasts beyond our own lives even. Whether the actual material thing that we've created lasts, it's more of like an energetic frequency that we've sowed onto the earth that lasts forever. In whatever form that looks is kind of just kind of dependent on how it spreads. It's kind of like it's got a life of its own. And yeah, that's why you need to slow down. It's like this is not something, like your life is not something to rush through. Your life is not a puzzle to solve. Like your life is a beautiful dream to live out. It's a journey of discovery and lessons and getting to know yourself and understand yourself. It's a journey of learning who you really are and what you really have to give to the world. And it's a journey of self-acceptance. There are going to be times when you feel stagnant. And there's such purpose held within those times. And there are going to be times when you're working really hard and where you feel ignited and motivated to work beyond all explanation. And there's beauty and magic in those times as well. But life is a journey. It's fluctuating all the time. And we're meant to be present with what is, no matter what that is. We don't get to pick and choose what we're presented with, what challenge we're presented with, and what internal lesson we're to learn. It's not... I do believe in personal agency and sovereignty and creating your own life and following a vision step by step. I believe in personal sovereignty and freedom. But what I've learned is that you cannot control the human experience. And the lessons you're meant to learn might surprise you sometimes. And there might be parts of yourself that you've never had access to. And when you do have access to them, you're floored and surprised and amazed, or you're terrified. You know, it's like, I never knew this was here. I never knew this childhood thing that happened to me affected me so deeply. Or I never knew I could feel so confident and so proud of who I am. I never knew I could feel so connected to my sense of joy. You know, there's so much discovery. There's so much excitement and love and beauty to behold in your life, freedom to experience, and also heavier things to walk through as a human. That's what we're here to do. We're here to clean up messes too, as well as, you know, live in love and live in beauty and comfort and joy. So embrace the journey. Whatever it is right here in front of you, there's like a taking stock that wants to happen. It's like, okay, let me look around my life right now and this place I'm at. Like the Three of Wands is kind of like seeing things from a higher vantage point. If you just sit with your life as it is and kind of scale out and look at the big picture, and realize this point and the blessing that it is within the greater scheme of things, and all the beauty and the love that surrounds you right here, right now, and knowing that it's all temporary. How much more can you appreciate what is around you? How much more can you look around and see beauty all the time? How much more can you let go of petty things that bother you in the day-to-day? And realize underneath it all is just love. You're here to be present with your life and your work. And if you sit and you realize, okay, well, let me be present with what is, and we've got this just confliction energy, that's okay. You're sitting in the confliction. You're observing it. You're with it. You're giving it air to breathe. That's what you're called to do in that moment. That's part of this human life. Give every part of you, every part of your life, the people in your life, the circumstances of your life, give it all air to breathe. Make your choices, create what you want, but do it from a place of appreciation of what is and a recognition that everything is temporary. And take great responsibility in it, in what you're creating, the life you're creating. Take care of 10 years from now you. What would she want? What would she have come back in time to make sure she did? She, he, them, they. What would they do? Would they hug their parents? Would they spend more time with the children in their life while they're still children? And the stop card, it's almost just like stop, take a look around, be present, acknowledge what is, be grateful for it. I want to say be present. Be present, be present, be present. Be with it, be in it, immerse yourself in it. This is it. This is what you have. It's beautiful. I feel like you have so much to give while you're here as human. Like, there's this feeling of, a deep feeling of purpose with this group. And I really hope the first two groups come to this one too. I feel like this one's like for everyone. And then groups number 1 and 2, whoever found their way to one of those, I hope they come to this one too, because I just want to tell you, you have such purpose in your life, and you can make such an impact in the world just by being you. And I just want you to realize that, and just live your life as it is. Be grateful for it. I don't want to be too tone deaf, because I know some people do really need to change their life, and I know it's hard to be grateful for some things sometimes when things are really bad. But I think in those cases, the message is to be present with yourself and to love yourself through it, and to trust yourself and know that you have a higher guidance system that is available to you to help get you out of situations that aren't serving you. And the more we're present with the situations, the more we awaken to the truth about it, the more we're able to detach from it and make decisions in our life to walk away. So presence is not a bad thing in those circumstances, in heavy or dark circumstances. Presence is an awakening tool. to help you move forward and to help you find the answers and to pray for guidance and to recognize that you do need help and you are worthy of it. To open up to help, to ask for help. Presence will help you do that. Alrighty, I think that is it for this message. I want to thank you so much for being here. This was a really beautiful reading that I am honored to channel for you. If you'd like to be supported by me more deeply, you can join my Patreon. You can also check out my other readings here on YouTube or my infinite prayer sessions, which are guided visualization and Reiki blessings that are connected to different readings here on YouTube. If you'd like to check down below to see if I have any personal readings available, you can do that. At the moment I don't, but maybe by the time you're watching this reading I do. If you'd like to leave me a tip / buy me a coffee, there is a link down below for that. I have merchandise that is adorable. It has my bee and flowers logo on it with the phrase, "Hello, lovely human," if that sounds cute or interesting to you. I also have another YouTube channel called Soul Harken. It is my heart and soul in video form if you'd like to check that out. So thank you so much for being here. I'm honored by your presence and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye.